listening to the Today's Mama podcast with your host, Rachael Hersher.
Welcome to our big health and fitness episode. Now, while we don't pretend to be fitness professionals, we do promise to entertain. We hope. We had so much to say that we split this interview series into two parts. We're talking about some of our health and fitness basics. We're sharing what we've learned over the years from trial and error, traditional medicine, and yes, voodoo doctors too. Be sure to catch both episodes where I break it all down with my bestie, Erin. We're going to uncover that 12-pack someday. Maybe. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about workouts. Now, we've already admitted that we are not sculpted.
No, nobody's beating down our door for how we got these arms.
No, my kids actually like to say, "Oh, Mom, your arms are so soft and silky," and they like to cuddle with them. That's not... It's offensive to me.
Is it?
When they say these things. It hurts my feelings, but you know what? Like, let's call a spade a spade. These guns have gone downhill a little bit.
A little bit over the winter.
Yeah. Oh man, this winter. I have a beef with going to the gym. I have a beef with these monthly memberships where you're trying to hustle in. I've done the Orange Theory grind. You know, I paid for my Pilates passes. And here's the hard thing for me. It's that because I work from home and because my kids are in school, my time is so valuable to me. And as a result, I end up ignoring my physical health a lot of the time, you know, and I try to come up with strategies for that. But if I go to Pilates, here's what it means. Mm-hmm. It means that I've got to get ready. I got to drive 15 minutes, do the workout, come home, drive home, right? Recover like from the workout a little bit, like feed myself, change my clothes, and get refocused. So ultimately it takes 2 hours out of my day.
Yep.
And that doesn't work for me on a consistent basis. So
same.
It's a slog, dude, and it gets expensive. So I've come up with a big variety of things that I kind of hide around my house to make it possible to do some pretty decent workouts at home.
Like a personal trainer? Like, do you have like a personal trainer hidden in your coat closet?
I yell at myself all day long. So I don't know how to break this one up. Do you want me to just tell you my lineup and then let's hear yours?
Yeah. I don't know what you're doing. I didn't realize you had secret things hidden throughout your house.
Oh, I do. All right. So first, let's start with walks. I try to get out on a walk as much as possible, as much as often. And I tried to do that more through the winter. I still wasn't perfect. It was a really cold winter, but I got out as much as possible.
Yeah.
And the way I multitask that is I make my business calls, usually.
Usually to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and others. Other people have been the lucky recipients of my breathless calls because I've designed a few walks through my hood that are packed with hills.
Yeah.
So I try to get as many hills in as I can, which makes for some really interesting phone calls when I'm trying to do my business.
Uh-huh.
Also, people who know me and drive through the neighborhood often see me because I talk with my hands. So I'm walking around the neighborhood, talking with my hands through my earbuds, and I just look like a lunatic.
I'm sure. Yep. I've heard you have to like pull over and stop and talk to somebody. I've also been the recipient of the phone call where you're like, hey, we need to talk about this thing. I'm walking and not in front of any of the documents. Can you like read them to me and take notes and then email me what I'm supposed to do when I get home from my walk? I'm like, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Yes. Yes, I've done that. So walks have been a big thing. The other thing I got this year, I started to look at a good bike to have in my house. And I was originally looking at a Peloton.
Yeah.
They are pricey, and so if I'm going to spend that kind of money on a bike, like I did some side-by-sides, and I ended up getting a Proform bike. And in the process, though, I just have to mention, and I'll put a link to this in the show notes, there is a gift on Twitter.
Yeah.
There is a guy, I don't know who he is, okay, but I love him. So he's at Clue Haywood, HEYWOOD. I'm going to put a link to this thread in the show notes where he basically roasted the Peloton lifestyle.
The ads.
The ads, yes.
Their version of their stock images to advertise the Peloton bike. It is the funniest thing I've seen.
It brings me so much joy. So here's one quote with a photo. I had my carpenter build a $9,000 finished wood riser for my Peloton bike in my glass-enclosed Zen garden home gym.
Yeah. And once he points it out, you cannot stop laughing at all of the Peloton images because they are all in these just amazing homes. They're given like front and center, like they're in the middle of like these exquisite living rooms.
Yes.
I also have an exercise bike. You know where my exercise bike is?
It's probably in your basement.
In my basement, pointed at the wall, out of the way. Like,
yeah. So here's another one. In the mornings after my housekeeper meticulously makes my bed, I like to ride my Peloton bike in the window of my high rise and literally look down my nose at all the people. I think he's like on top of New York City, basically, in this picture.
Yes, it's like a New York City penthouse.
And one more. You might ask why these windows in front of these Pelotons are so small. Unfortunately, space on the yacht is limited, and the gym is near the waterline. We manage.
Yeah.
Over and over. It's so good.
It is so good.
That sounded like ultimately an ad for Peloton. I chose a Proform bike and I absolutely love it. It was cheaper, side by side. It had more features, more bells and whistles, and the workouts are so good. So for an indoor bike, this has like a little screen, right? And I can do all these workouts. And I was a little skeptical at first because I'm like, oh yeah, digital virtual personal trainer. How can you pump me up with your little pre-recorded workout? And I was like kind of rolling my eyes, like those words of wisdom you're spitting at me can't inspire me. And then like Nicole says something and like a single tear falls from my eye while I'm writing. You know,
that's so great.
Nicole and I are riding through Moab together in the Moab series, and she's speaking to my heart. And I'm like, Nicole, when are we getting together for lunch? I mean, so the cool thing is it keeps track of my rides. There's different profiles for different people in my family. You know, I am out of shape, so it's like letting me phase up through different things. You know, you can do these rides with Google Maps too, but actually I'm going to tell you, I don't recommend those ones. They kind of make me sick. But like I could go to Ireland right now on my Google map and like ride a street, you know, and exactly like the weather and everything that's going on there today, right? I don't know. I don't enjoy that as much as I enjoyed the pre-recorded rides.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I super like
my
it.
My basement bike does not have all that fanciness.
Nicole is not in your basement bike.
No, Nicole is not in my basement bike.
Now, if Nicole's not your jam, she happens to apparently be my jam. There's loads of other trainers and things that you can use and programs and all the things. I'm super liking it. All right, another thing I hide around my house, this is just a little easy thing, is resistance bands. So I keep them on the counter in the kitchen. And so that every time I walk through the kitchen, I see him and I will do some little like leg lifties. And what that has done for me is, you know, I fell down some stairs a couple years ago.
I do. I was the recipient of those late night text messages.
From the ER.
From the emergency room.
Because I wrecked my ankle and it probably took 6 to 9 months really to get to like a good place.
Yep.
And then I felt like the rest of my body really took a toll, as well as just like basic balance and stuff like that. And the resistance bands have helped that so much and so fast. I went through a couple sets. I made the mistake of ordering latex bands at first, and I hate the smell of latex. I feel like it sticks to my hands. I smell it all over the place for days. So like I ditched those. The ones I found that are not latex and they don't smell are from Smarter Life, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes from Amazon, because that was a big deal to me, is I couldn't stand the smelly bands. And these ones were also thicker so they don't roll up on your leg, and then it comes in all these different resistances. So I hide those around the house. I also, when I make my bed every day, I put hand weights at the end of my bed so that when I walk through my room, like I'll throw up a set. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Try to work on my silky arms.
Your silky arms.
But I'll tell you the downfall of this plan right now is that my set of weights, they're just like 3 pounds. So
oh
my intentions are good. It's what I had in my house. And I put them together so the 3 turns into 6. But I really need to up
6 whole pounds.
Yeah, I need to up the weight. That's why my arms are still the way they are. I think if I up my weight, it's going to work better. But
probably
the fact that they're on the end of my bed and I pass them, you can't help but pick them up. All right, get off my triceps.
I love you with my whole heart. I 3-pound weights. I know. I'm laughing so hard.
Listen, high reps, low weight.
You're adorable. You are adorable.
All right. Then I got my rollers. I've got, those hardcore rollers you roll your back on. They're like bumpy and lumpy.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
the one that we have is from tptherapy.com. It has like a grid on it. If I've worked out, whatever, it's just good. I can hear everything crack in my back. If I have a tension headache, I'll roll that up under my neck and just roll my head around on all of the most painful places. And that is not comfortable, but it helps a ton.
Wow.
I also bought a plexus yoga wheel at Christmas time. And here's the thing. I think I got tricked. Honestly, these wheels, they had giraffes on them and they were the cutest wheels, but I've discovered they were probably the most expensive wheels out there. I think you can buy a cheaper wheel than this plexus yoga wheel. But you basically roll your spine on it. From a functionality perspective, it's great. I love it. It helps my back a ton. I just think you could find a cheaper wheel.
Probably.
All right, my last thing for my home workouts is that Gaiam Yoga has this really cool, it's an app, but it's also like a station, or maybe it's still called an app on Apple TV, that you have access to all these different yoga.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 99 cents or something. It may have a monthly subscription. I should probably look at my bill.
Yeah.
I'm super responsible.
Yeah.
But you can choose all these different yoga workouts or sessions, whatever you want to call them. And there's like meditations, there's, 10-minute classes, intermediate, advanced, yoga for back pain, for runners. There's tons of options. Hip hop yoga, I have not tried that yet. I probably will not do hip hop yoga. But the point is, I don't have to get dressed, go to the studio, do the thing, and come back. Certainly there's a time and place to do that, but I can throw this on at the end of the day in the basement.
Yeah.
And do it. And what I realized is when I go to yoga, I'm still doing the same class every time I go to the gym, honestly, because there's a teacher I like. I do the same thing every time. So with this Gaiam Yoga Apple TV thing, I just choose my class and sometimes it's the same one every time and just, get it in. So
I love that. I love going to yoga. I think going to yoga studios is great. It's great to go into that environment and that whole vibe and everything. But yoga schedules, I got to be honest, they can be tricky. They can be tricky to work around and they can be pretty limited. So to be able to fire up a video on your timetable and do the sort of class that you want to do, whether it is hip hop yoga or like a yin yoga that I've been really into lately at home, it makes a huge difference to be able to do it on your timeline. I mean, I did a yin yoga video the other night before bed.
What is yin yoga? So
yin yoga is, and again, I'm not an expert, but they're mostly floor poses and they're held for a lot longer. So it's more of a deep meditative stretch. So you might be in a certain pose for 2.5 minutes. So you might be doing pigeon for 2.5 minutes and it's intended to almost get you into this deep stretch, but also sort of a meditative state. And I did that. I did a 30-minute sequence before bed and I slept better than I have in months. It was amazing.
Okay, I will add that to my lineup.
Get it.
You're listening to the Today's Mama podcast with your host, Rachael Hersher. We'll be back right after this.
It feels like there's never enough time to do it all. The kids keep growing, and sure, you keep taking photos of every little magical, maniacal moment. But then what? Get photos off your phone and into your hands with Chatbooks. Automatically create beautiful 60-page photo books in minutes, right from your camera roll and social media, starting at just $10 with free shipping. Keep calm and mom on with Chatbooks.
And now back to the Today's Mama podcast with your host, Rachael Hersher.
Have you gone to hot yoga before?
I love hot yoga. I absolutely love hot yoga. I think for me, sweating is really important. I like to walk like you do. I like to do yoga like you do, but I also really need to, for lack of a better term, the best way I can describe it is I have to burn up the anxiety that I feel or the emotions that I might be struggling with. Like I need to sweat them out. I need to exert energy in order to kind of burn up some of those things. Otherwise, I kind of feel a little bit eaten alive by it, and it impacts my sleep.
Yeah.
The more I can do things that are legitimately sort of strenuous, the better I can sort of handle some of the things I've been going through. But yoga, finding hot yoga was so great because I love yoga, but because it is Bikram yoga and hot yoga feels more strenuous to me. Like, so it gives me both, which I really, really love, because I get to the end of a hot yoga session and I feel like I'm going to die. There's not one layer of my clothing that could not be like peeled off me and wrung out.
Dude. So I've now been twice, and my husband that we talk about goes to hot yoga on the regular because it's really good for his back and his scar tissue for his accident. So it's part of how he manages.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's a thing that makes me angrier in the whole world than that hot yoga place.
That's funny.
Because here's the thing.
Dude, I love it.
Oh, dude. I've said dude so many times in this episode.
That's fine.
I went in there on my first one, and I'm going along, and I'm feeling all right. And I'm like, okay, I'm like not passed out. I'm hanging tough. And then we get to corpse pose. What's that called?
Shavasana.
Give me Shavasana. Thank you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it. I made it. And then all of a sudden they're like, all right, next set. And they are pulling
Joke's
me.
on you, bro.
Yeah, joke's on you. They're pulling me back out of Shavasana. And I'm like, what is this circus?
Yep.
So I get up. I'm like, all right, let's go. Do it again. Get my next Shavasana. And I'm like, all right, okay, that was so hard. And I hung in there and I did it. So many F words flying through my head. And then they tell me to get up again and keep going. So there are 3 Shavasanas in there just playing with your mind.
Yep.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah. But once you got past your false ending rage, did you like it? Or does it just, you're just not going to do it?
No, here's the thing. I think it was okay. I'm getting there. My other problem is, you say you're a person that sweats. I am not a person that sweats. Everybody's in there.
Yeah.
Just dripping sweat, and it smells like just a rotten vegetable stand in a third world country, right? Because I made the mistake of sitting next to the cold air return. So it's sucking all those smells out. But I don't sweat. Like, I'm the kid that, even in high school playing soccer, my face just turns beet red and I don't sweat a whole lot. So I'm a little dewy in there.
Oh.
Like, my mat, honestly, like I have a few little sweat marks from my body, but there are people that literally are wringing out their mat that are just dripping. I wish I need to, if anyone out there knows the secret, the switch to flip that tells your body it's okay to sweat, please tell me what it is.
Whoa.
Because it just, all the heat collects in my brain and it makes me really angry.
Ooh, yeah. Cause I'm on the complete opposite. Like, I had to go after my first session, I had to go buy a hot yoga full length mat towel. So it's basically a microfiber kind of chamois it's the size of my yoga mat, because I was the one that cause it's a 90-minute class.
Yeah. I had one of those and mine was just slightly dampened. Maybe.
No, by the end of a session for me, I'm pushing the limits of even like what that towel can. One of my yoga tops is a gray tank top. And halfway through the session, I've got this huge wet sweat ring that's going down to like past my chest, down to like my mid torso. And by the end of class, you can't tell, there's no more dry fabric on that top. It's all soaking wet. So I'm on the unflattering end I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum for you.
That's the healthier side.
It's excessive though. I feel like I'm on the excessive side.
Everybody in there is making it rain. And then I'm just soaking in the humidity. It's really gross.
You might want to figure that out. I don't think that's what your body's supposed to do.
I know, I got a problem.
Yeah, you do.
All right. I talked a lot about the things that I do. Is there anything else you want to throw in? What helps you work out from home or fit something in?
I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I work from home. So it's always that equation of drive time, get dressed time. And the thing that I really like about working out at home is I don't have to necessarily worry, do I have on like the best outfit? Not that I think the gym is like a fashion show, but I can wear my rattiest, least supportive leggings if I need to just hurry and just hop on the bike. And I've got the same one. I've got a bike in my basement. I work out. I can work out a lot harder at home because I don't care what anybody thinks because I'm by myself. So if I want to sing really loud to Taylor Swift, I can do that because
Is T Swift on your workout mix?
yeah.
Let's stop for a minute. What's who are you? What song?
Bad Blood? Tell me okay, get on your bike, listen to T Swift's Bad Blood, and tell me that you don't like rage cycle through that.
Okay, I'll try it. It feels a little peppy for me.
Dude.
She's mad there's bad blood, but like it's still like, I got a little bad blood.
Wow. So that's one of the reasons I like working at home. Nobody's judging my playlist.
I'm not. No, I love you. What else is on your list?
I'm not telling you now.
No, tell me this is like a really vulnerable place for us to be to reveal our music lists.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Give me a couple more.
Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin.
Okay, cool.
That's on there. The Chain, Fleetwood Mac is on there. There's a lot of Pink. There's a lot of old school Gwen Stefani, Hollaback Girl.
Okay.
I mean, throw that on and then get your cycle on. I do like riding a stationary bike because that is the absolute best workout that I can get. I am not a runner. I hate running. I'm terrible at running.
No, running makes me so mad.
Ugh.
I think it's because we're tall. And
you're not tall.
I'm 5'8" and 1/4. Just because you're 6 feet tall, I'm still above average. Girl.
Tall. We're so tall. I hate to run, but I can get on a bike and I can push myself much harder on a bike than I can running. And so I can get a really good workout in a shorter amount of time, I feel like.
But back to being tall, I just feel like I am tall, but also I feel like tall people joints. Also, Erin, get real about my legs. I'm like legs up to my rib cage. I just don't think my knees were built for this.
Forgive me.
That life.
I'm carting around my legs, which are a lot longer than yours. So I'm not going to necessarily like throw you in the tall, long-legged bucket. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
Get out.
Get out. I also have weights. I do not have 3-pound weights though.
Oh, are they bigger?
I have a little bit higher dumbbells, but then I also have some kettlebells at home that I really like that I use. And again, I do have a gym membership. I will go to the gym occasionally, but I do like being able to work out at home. To have a quick 20-minute kettlebell session at whatever time is going to work best for me on my schedule. I have foam rollers just like you. I do the video yoga just like you. I like having those things in my house because I can do it anytime that works for me and I get a lot out of it. I actually get more. I feel like I get more out of my home workouts than I sometimes do out of a gym workout because quite frankly, like I don't have to be self-conscious about whether I'm necessarily doing it always correctly. Like I think sometimes like you go to the gym and so many people are there and they've got their rhythm and like they sort of appear to be a lot more professional at all this than maybe I feel like I am with my 20-pound kettlebell or my dumbbells, but working from home works really well for me.
Yeah, agreed.
I love it.
Okay. I have to go back to my playlist. I feel like I didn't get to share my songs.
Oh, geez.
All right, so I have a lot of Beastie Boys. I'm scrolling through my phone right now.
Oh, Beastie Boys.
Oh, dude, Sabotage, that's all I ever need to get pumped up for anything.
Okay, I'm going to add that.
If I ever need walk-on music, I just want that.
Walk on?
Yeah. Yeah. One day I'm going to need walk-on music, and that's what it'll be.
Nice. Awesome.
Sometimes if I'm doing something really that makes me feel ragey, like if I were in hot yoga, Rage Against the Machine may be an appropriate thing that pops on my list.
Okay.
I really like The Killers. Like there's a lot of really good pumped up. Like The River is Wild. Dude, I don't know. That makes me feel like I could bite my brains out.
Okay.
I love Macklemore. And I can sing Downtown like it's nobody's business. There's a song by Lizzo called Good as Hell that is fantastic.
Okay.
Young MC is on my playlist. Bust a Move.
Young MC.
Bust a Move is there.
Of course it is.
What comes next is Bust a Move. Ah, yeah. I also will listen to Off to the Principal's Office I Go because I will just rap that out while I'm working out.
I've never heard that song ever.
I don't know.
Don't sing it.
Don't. I'm about to, but I'll stop.
No Imagine Dragons? Like, you don't have Imagine Dragons, like, friction?
I just scrolled up onto Imagine Dragons Evolve. That's made its way in there. A couple songs from La La Land are chilling.
Really?
Yeah.
On your workout playlist?
Picture that piano beat, dude. That's making me feel peppy.
So you're judging me for having Taylor Swift's Bad Blood on my workout playlist, but you're busting out the piano tunes from La La Land?
It makes me feel pumped up.
Weirdo.
T Swift did just roll up on my list, but that's my daughter's fault.
I knew it.
It's my daughter's fault.
I knew it. No, it isn't.
Her 1989 album. All right. And then maybe there was just Jack White, Lazaretto. I range between happy and poppy and something really dark and ragey.
Interesting.
Okay. So last topic. Unless, do you have anything else to share on the workout at home topic?
The only thing I would suggest is I know some people like to go places or to go to classes because they need accountability, but I have found that sometimes I do need that as well. And even just having like kind of a workout buddy.
And we're not saying that's wrong or bad,
No.
right? These are just like the options.
If I feel like I need that, I have found that it's helpful to sort of like have a text buddy, almost make like an agreement like, hey, does somebody want to focus on working out and like be my accountability buddy? That can be a good way to do it. It's just somebody that's going to check and be like, dude, you work out this week? You know.
I need somebody who is going to meet me there. If I'm really going to be effective about hitting a gym scenario, I will go if I know somebody's meeting me there.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Today's Mama podcast with your host, Rachael Hersher. We'll be back right after this.
If you're enjoying this topic today, might I recommend a few others from the archives? Check out episode 11 with Melissa Hartwig, founder of the original Whole30 and best-selling author. We talk all about motherhood, church, and of course, Whole30. You can also check out our 2-part interview with Stacia Savasic. It's episodes 28 and 29 on our amazing bodies and our inherent ability to resent them. Last but not least, be sure to listen to one of our recent interviews, episode 31, with Andrew Taylor, all about wilderness therapy and how to help your kids avoid it. All those links will be in the show notes. I think that should keep you busy for a while. You can find those links and more at todaysmama.com/podcast.
And now back to the Today's Mama podcast with your host, Rachael Hersher.
Any favorite voodoo medicine out there? And I mean, I feel like I've pushed you in a few directions. Is there anything that you have particularly enjoyed?
I don't know that I have found my necessarily voodoo medicine landing spot. I've been trying to figure out meditation. I've been reading Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics I believe it's by Dan Harris. And I've been trying some meditation podcasts because I do think, as I have mentioned on several occasions, even just on this podcast, I have been struggling with some anxiety after my divorce. And everything that I've read about meditation sounds like an option that I would love to sort of crack the code on. But I feel a little bit of discomfort because really what meditation sounds like to me is sit with the thing that you're having a hard time with. And that is intimidating sometimes, but I've done it enough that it's like doing yin yoga. Yin yoga has been like my almost a little bit of a compromise between full on meditation because it's still giving me something to point my brain at for a minute. It's as I get into a pose and I'm trying to hold a pose and I'm focusing on my breathing, what I have found is that will take me into that kind of meditative, clear mind state that I think is really important. And that's what I'm sort of trying. Yes, you have had me do some voodoo things that I'm not sure I've figured out my exact voodoo so far. The things that I've grabbed onto are kind of in that yoga meditative place and trying to figure that out.
I think I'm really good at meditation because my mind clears so quickly. I fall asleep in like 3 minutes or less.
You do. I have shared enough hotel rooms with you that you were just like, boom, out.
Yeah, gone. So, and that was why I did hypnobirthing with my first. And I was a really great hypnobirther because I'd go into my little zone and I'd just like kind of fall asleep and I'd be like, oh, what? I'm dilated to an 8? Awesome. I slept through that.
Hate you. I am the opposite of that. I am a hamster wheel of all the things.
No, if anybody remembers Marie Mongan from back in the days of hypnobirthing when there were cassette tapes, apparently that's how old I am. I'd put them in and listen. She starts talking about like a peach mist and immediately I yawn. I'm like, oh, it's over.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
It's over. I'm in the clouds. Yes. It's out of control. Okay, so some other voodoo, and it's not real voodoo, just alternative medicine or types of things that I like. I have and this isn't voodoo, I have a really good structural massage therapist. That gets pricey, right?
Yeah.
So you can't always go see the structural massage therapist. That's been really helpful for my husband, helpful for me for really specific things. NAET, N is in Nancy, AET. That's the thing. You remember, my youngest could eat like 4 foods. She was allergic to everything. And this stuff makes no sense. I will put a link in the show notes that explains it more, but I'll just tell you that it worked for us and helped her allergies a ton, but has helped a ton of things over the years, honestly. And I think I've sent you there before and you've had a good experience.
I did. I really did.
I mean, you will go and hold a vial of water.
Oh, I'll try anything.
Yeah. And it's charged with the electromagnetic frequency of whatever you have a problem with. And it's just telling your body to get cool with that frequency. And then I think tapping on some chakras or doing a thing. And it makes no sense to your logical mind.
But it works. It works.
Yeah.
I remember when your daughter was an infant and she was suffering through such severe allergies and her skin it was heartbreaking to see her little arms because she had those adorable little chubby baby arms that look like, you know how their little wrists can almost look like they've got rubber bands around them because they've got those kind of little chubby arms.
Yeah.
And I remember holding her and that area of her wrist was, what's the word for it? I mean, it was so cracked and oozing and inflamed. It looked so painful for her. And she was allergic to so many things.
And we would put all the creams on and wrap her in all the things and limit her diet.
You tried everything.
Yeah.
Oh, the hoops. I remember when you were going to the goat farm to get goat milk for her because you were trying everything. You were trying everything from that your pediatrician was recommending. There was a point where you had pulled so many things out of your own diet to try to get all of the allergens out of your own breast milk for her. It was just insane. And then you guys did this and it was like magic.
Yeah.
I could not believe the results.
Yeah. And just because of her, that's why so many people have ended up seeing the same guy here in Salt Lake. Yeah. We kind of just go for anything, but
it's amazing.
So they're all over the country if anyone wants to try it out. And I'll put a link in the show notes if you want to learn more about it. But cranial sacral is also, I don't even know how to describe that. I just know that I have a wonderful Native American woman who lives close to me that has been struck by lightning like 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
And she is unreal. It's like electricity moves through her hands. And that is also, to me, is like relaxing as a massage. And I don't know, she's amazing. And then I've tried foot zoning recently, which I think is kind of like reflexology in a way.
Pressure point? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, this is, again, like you tell me to go like drink a tincture in the desert by the light of the full moon. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'm just like foot zoning. Let's try it. I don't understand it, but yeah, like play with my feet. Tell me what happens. Have enjoyed that. So I'm kind of down for anything. I've been trying to talk you guys into going to the salt caves. So that's next on the list.
Let's go. Let's try the salt caves out. I mean, what do? We sit in the salt caves? Like,
Pretty much. It's like full of Himalayan salts, and then it looks like that they've put like lawn chairs in there and you sit in there and just like soak in the power of the salt, I think.
Okay.
Breathe it into your lungs.
Breathe it in. Listen to a little T Swift.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything on your voodoo medicine wish list? I feel like it's not as exotic as I've made it out to be, but I was going to give you the gift of like a hyperbaric chamber for Christmas.
Oh, geez.
Like, not a whole chamber, but like this thing. And maybe that's not even what it's called, where you like go between like hot and cold therapies.
Man.
And then you're like, is what you want us to do? Do we have to be naked? And I'm like, I don't know yet.
Yeah, you did. You did send me a text and you're like, I have a plan. I'm going to figure, are you free on this day? And I was like, do I get to wear clothes to this? Like, tell me how much layer of comfort or discomfort I need to be ready for. Because you've also done like the pod, the sensory deprivation.
Oh, yes.
And that to me sounds like hell on earth. I think that would send me into a straight up panic attack.
I was a little nervous. So, because this is me, we're walking the streets of Portland. I'd gone with a couple other friends to see a Coldplay concert in Portland. And I'm like, float spot, guys, let's go. So we like walk in, get an appointment on the spot. My other two friends were like, what is this? I think feeling a little anxious.
Sure.
And I'm just like, get me in there. You get in, there's so much Epsom salt in there that you float, right? And then the pod closes around you. It was spacious enough, but I mean, I really think it's a one-person pod, ultimately. I don't think you could really throw two people effectively in there. And that's awkward, too, because you are naked. And you got your earplugs in, and then they can take it totally, you can do like a twilight setting, or you can take it totally black, like total darkness. And it's supposed to give you that feeling of like zero gravity. And it was so interesting because all the tension I had in my body, I carry a lot in my neck and shoulders. And that's like why I would go get a massage, is that's where my tension headaches come from. All that tension was still, even though I was pretty much weightless, all that tension was still holding on in my neck until it finally realized it could let go. And it was awesome. I loved it. And you're also soaking in all the magnesium from the salt. Like I would probably do that once a month if I, were to go buy a punch pass of unlimited funds.
Man, because it sounds like without the gravity, with floating, with it being dark, it sounds like you would not have a lot of any kind of grounding sensations. And to me, I think I might just wig out.
Listen, we're going to go. You're going to leave it on the twilight setting so that you can still see. No, you got.
I knew at the end of this podcast I was going to end up naked. Every time with you.
Every time you're trying to get me to take my clothes off.
Every time.
We were in Jamaica once, and we did this water therapy thing.
Which was amazing.
See? I mean, and you were almost naked. You weren't all the way naked.
I don't think we were naked.
No, you had your
bathing suits on.
I'm saying, like, I haven't made you totally get naked.
The day's not over.
So like you're moving between all these hot and cold water experiences and jumping in the super cold pool and then going to like a mint infused, like whatever that was, sauna. It was awesome.
It was awesome. I don't think the spa patrons appreciated our screaming, but it was fine.
Yeah. If I had $1 billion, nothing would change about my life except for all the money I would spend doing just crazy things like this. But if that's the extent of my crazy, that's not so bad.
No, it's fine. Your crazy is super manageable.
So we want to hear from our listeners. Tell us your favorite stuff. I'm obviously down to try it. I will try to get Erin to try it, especially by the light of a full moon in the desert. You give us all your best recommendations, and maybe we'll come back with another episode in a few months with all the new things we've tried. So we'll have all the links and notes for everything we talked about in the show notes. You can always find those at todaysmama.com/podcast. And Erin, until next time, I will see you in the salt caves.
Deal. I'll bring my T-Swift.
Ooh, I'll meet you there. Bye.
Bye.
We want to hear from you. Head on over to the show notes and leave us a comment. What music is on your workout playlist? Have any favorite workout equipment or hacks? Ever tried a float spa, or do you have any other amazing voodoo to share? Just visit todaysmama.com/podcasts, click on this episode, and leave us a note in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
You've been listening to the Today's Mama podcast with Rachael Hersher. To find out more, go to todaysmama.com. That's todaysmama.com. Today's Mama, connecting moms and families with the best of today.